Ghostbusters week went pretty well, but now I feel like I need to challenge myself and do something different from a film. So, maybe my first ever video game review. But what of? So Ghostbusters Remastered came out.
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Just pick up the phone and call the professionals. Call the Ghostbusters.
Hello everyone and welcome to Rejected, where we either reject or rejoice in all things everything. And I promise I will stop talking about Ghostbusters soon. It's just that this came out on Friday and I got it a day early. So I've been playing it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday as of recording this video. And as I said, it came out on Friday. So as I've had all this time to play it, surely I should have an idea of how this game works and whether it's actually good or not. So, let's find out. Strap on your proton pack once again and join the Ghostbusters on an adventure with the original crew as you battle to save New York. You are the Rookie. Your name? Who gives a fuck? And you have become the newest recruit to the Ghostbusters, a silent member who no one wants to high-five. Hell, you're pretty pathetic. I think I'm going to chill now. Just going to mellow out a little bit. And the first thing you do as a Ghostbuster is chase after the very first ghost they ever caught, who they now have as an exhibit. This game has so many references to the original two films, as it begins from 1991, 2 years after the Ghostbusters sequel. But how does the game play? The game is a third-person shooter which works well when it comes to blasting ghosts, and you switch to first person through the use of the ecto goggle. Now in this game, instead of just holding the ghost, capturing him and put him in the trap, they actually make you weaken the ghosts. Let me explain. You now have to weaken ghosts by blasting them with a proton stream, and several upgrades you gain as the story goes on. Once the ghost is weakened, you throw a capture stream and must weaken them more by throwing them in the opposite direction from where they are flying to. And finally, when you throw a trap, you have to wrangle them as they get sucked into the trap, which I love. It makes the gamer have to pay more attention as the ghost tries to escape by flying to the sides, which means you have to pull them the opposite way. However, there is one issue with this. Well, one issue I could find. However, there was one issue I could find, and that is that you actually have no idea whether or not you're hitting the ghost and weakening them. Well, you do. You see, every time you're pointing the proton stream at them, it shows you a circle with like a health bar for the ghost before you get them weak enough. There are parts where you are standing there firing at them and nothing's happening. Well, the meter might be on the screen, but the bar isn't decreasing. Maybe because the beam isn't reaching the ghost because there's an obstacle in the way where the beam is actually stuck on. Which happens more than often. And yes, I appreciate the unstableness of the stream being more realistic. But when you have luggage flying at you, and even when you are hitting it spot on, it still causes you damage. That's bollocks. And right there I did say damage, because in this game it's all about keeping yourself healthy. Now, you don't just have a damage bar for yourself. However, you can be knocked down by the ghosts or the surrounding enemies. So, what happens when you get knocked down? As a member of a team, you can take damage and need help depending on if you are the only one there or whether or not you have more of the team with you. They can come over and revive you, and if they go down, you have to help them too. Now I did enjoy this, but I honestly believe they each have their own pain levels. And no word of a lie, I definitely think Egon Spengler is the weakest Ghostbuster. The amount of times he got knocked down while I was trying to record footage for this gameplay, I was losing my mind. One boss battle nearly made me quit the game. Not from the boss being difficult, but because Egon Spengler within 2 minutes of battling the ghost goes down every time. And he would end up in some of the stupidest places, from behind portals to underneath the boss who you can't touch without taking damage. Like, come on Egon, get a better tolerance. Now the gameplay does have its issues, but it balances itself out. But what's the quality of the game itself like? Well, that also splits me down the middle. Now this game is PlayStation 4 Pro enhanced, so the quality should come through. But if I'm honest, there seems to be some shots in the scenes that were made for the trailers, and some that, well, just weren't. Like, it's gotta be bad when the gameplay looks better than the FMV. But this leads me on to one of the issues that I have even before I started playing the game, Now, as I said, this game came as a pre-order a day early. I lost my mind when it came in, so I thought I'm going to whack it in and I'll play it straight away. Yet when I put the game into the console, it already had an update. And if this game came to me the day before it was supposed to be released to the public, why did it need an update? And here's my issue, because that's not the only game that it happened to. Batman Arkham Knight and even the Crash Insane Trilogy, they all suffered from having updates the day they were released. Now, I pre-ordered Crash, and again, it had an update. I understand there are codes for people to play before the release. However, if a game, by the time that it's supposed to be released, has an update already prepared, that's not a finished game. Now, there are bugs, there are glitches throughout the games, and there always will be, because it's an animated system. It won't be perfect. However, before a game was released, it needed an update. So they sent out the game with an issue, a known issue that they could have fixed easily. But deadlines. So, you got a game that already needed update. I think I lost my mind when this came as a pre-order, and I had to wait 6 hours to play it because of the size of the update file. If a game's not perfect, a game's not perfect. But if a game needs an update before it's even released, it shouldn't be released. Find problems with it as people play the game. But there's no excuse if a game's got to be released with an update. Now, I've spoken long enough without talking about the excellent story by Harold Ramis and Dan Aykroyd. A museum is having a Gozo exhibit, and after a blue energy blasts through New York, the team suits up with their new rookie, who has the nice job of testing all the new equipment. But it seems that his blue energy has spiced things up for the local ghost population, and they have all reappeared, and the team must bust ghosts and solve the mystery of what's behind all these new sightings. However, due to a new agreement with the Mayor of New York, the team are under supervision of Walter Peck, who is in charge of making sure the Ghostbusters are acting responsible, and are held accountable for causing minimal damage when busting ghosts. Now, it's nice to hear all the original voices come back. I would have loved a cameo by Sigourney Weaver and Rick Moranis as Dana Barrett and Louis Tully. He's referenced in it. I just would have liked just a little something. I mean, hell, they even got Bill Murray's brother in to play the mayor. But does this game hold up after 10 years? Of course it does. For all intents and purposes, this is Ghostbusters 3, and I adore it. Not really surprised by that, are you? For story, it's new. Sure, it holds a lot to the first film, not so much the second, but it's good and gets a 3.5. And as for execution, the quality of the gameplay does drop and there are moments of frustration, but it's everything a Ghostbusters fan could have asked for, and that gets a 3. Now, for my first ever game review, this definitely gets rejoiced. However, I just want to take this time to say a massive thank you to each and every one of you for the massive support and love you shown when I did Ghostbusters Week. That was just an idea of a project that maybe people would like. I thought, just try something different. To support you guys have shown it just means a lot. So honestly, thank you so much. So a great project like that I absolutely adore, and just thank you so much for watching. Really appreciate it. I guess I've got to start planning for Halloween now, haven't I? What did you think of the game? Leave a comment down below or check out my social media. Links are all in the description. And if you enjoyed this review, hit that like button. I'd highly appreciate it. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell to never miss a review. Thanks for watching.